This is the Future of Automotive with Steve Greenfield.
Welcome back to the latest episode of the Future of Automotive on CBT News, where we put recent automotive and mobility news into the context of the broader themes impacting the industry. I'm Steve Greenfield from Automotive Ventures, and I'm really glad that you could join us. This week, we're joined by a past special guest to the show, who's going to share with us some of the background information about a recent huge auto tech deal. Earlier this month, Impel announced that it was acquiring Outsell for more than $100 million in cash plus equity. The acquisition pairs Impel, an early pioneer in generative AI in the auto industry, with Outsell, one of the industry's early customer data platform players. Impel was founded back in 2012 and was known initially as SpinCar. The company rebranded as Impel in 2022. Impel has raised over $130 million, including a 2023 $104 million growth equity investment led by Silversmith Capital Partners, with earlier investor Wavecrest Growth Partners participating as well. Impel's acquisition of Outsell marks its third strategic purchase in 3 years. In 2021, it acquired Pulsar AI from Georgia and Los Angeles-based CarLabs.ai in 2022. Following the company's $104 million growth equity financing back in January, Impel, which is the global leader in digital automotive engagement software and data, has now launched a new product they're calling Chat AI, which is a dealer web chat product powered by generative AI and large language models. So with all this news, let's welcome back to the show Impel's co-founder and CEO, Devin Daly. Devin, it's great to see you again, and congratulations on this significant big deal.
Thank you, Steve. Always a pleasure to be here. Thank you very much for having me.
So just to level set, before we start, maybe we can hear from you a quick primer for viewers who may not know Impel. I can't imagine there are many of them that don't know about you guys at this point, but tell us what Impel does and what problem you're solving.
Absolutely. Thanks, Steve. Yeah, so Impel is really the auto industry's most advanced AI customer lifecycle management platform, again, specifically built for automotive retail. We work with around 6,000 dealerships pre-Outsell acquisition, do a lot of business with online marketplaces as well as manufacturers. We do business in 53 countries around the globe.
Wow.
We also do a lot of business in the specialty, so RV, power sports, marine, as well as aftermarket repair shop verticals. Really, our vision or what our products do is really use AI to manage the entire customer lifecycle from when somebody lands on the website, right? How do we engage them with rich merchandising to, like you mentioned, our Chat AI product? How does that help you answer questions? Eventually, somebody submits a lead. Our AI works that lead, pushes them down the funnel, answers questions, sets an appointment, and then AI picks up and continues with that life cycle, getting them back in for service, and eventually vehicle acquisition based on driving habits and DMS data, really using AI, again, to manage that entire cycle.
Well, it's amazing to think that you and Mike have been on this entrepreneurial journey for 12 years now, but congratulations on this acquisition. I mean, this is a huge milestone for you guys. Tell us a little bit about Outsell and why the acquisition made sense.
Yep, absolutely. Right. So the goal of Impel is to become, the de facto standard of automotive AI. We are, I think today, sort of the category creator, definitely the market leader. And our goal is to continue to cement ourselves as that de facto standard. There's an adage that as AI becomes more commonplace, whoever owns the most proprietary training data will really win out. And that's what Outsell brings to us in droves. So they've got 20 years of proprietary precedent transaction data. They've been monitoring for 20 years, 70 million American consumers. They can see all historical vehicle purchases, all historical service transactions, what time of day Steve engaged, what medium he prefers, and all of that can be used to train our model on auto-specific use cases and really power long-tail personalization. So I think that's sort of thesis one, is acquiring this really rich database to power our AI. I think sort of sub-thesis two is, we firmly believe the combination of AI-based marketing automation with AI-based one-to-one conversational communications is a really, really compelling formula that in some of our mutual customers is driving outsized performance. So if you think of Outsell as kind of that drumbeat air cover, if you will, AI is doing what you want your BDC to be doing that outreach, following each of those offers that's going out by the Outsell platform.
Very cool. Very cool. So, this segment comes out Friday afternoons. We may have up to 20,000 dealers viewing this segment. So why should they care? I mean, what does Impel plus Outsell, what does this combination bring to dealers in terms of business impact to them? And what does it mean for dealers in their day-to-day operations?
Yeah, absolutely, right? So it's truly purpose-built AI is really the catalyst for outsized returns in terms of revenue generation, service loyalty, customer delight, right? I mean, we talk about using AI to manage that entire life cycle is not only maximizing lifetime value at each of those touch points, but again, because you're constantly in touch with that consumer, there's one voice, almost like a service concierge or, automotive concierge talking to that person throughout their ownership life cycle. That's really, next generation or significantly improved customer experience as well versus the experience most customers have today where they fall in love with a car, talk to their sales rep, and then, never hear from them again. And, it's totally disjointed. There's different people talking to them about service versus the sales rep. Again, with AI, you've got that one voice communicating throughout that life cycle. So anyways, enhanced customer experience, enhanced reputation, but it's really all about elevated revenue as well as service loyalty.
Cool. Sounds like it checks all the boxes. So it's been a few weeks now. So what's the reaction from the industry? Like, what have you heard both from customers and from the market in general?
Yeah, right. I mean, I think generally, there's been a huge amount of excitement. I think people realize, it really makes sense. I've drawn the analogy that this acquisition is sort of like Google's attempts at acquiring HubSpot. Google is a leader in conversational AI. And, I think what they realized is once you have this lead management AI process running, the next logical step is how do you move one level up market or up funnel rather and pump more demand and more leads and opportunities into that. So I would say generally there's been a huge amount of excitement. I think what really is resonating with customers is this vision of having one single pane of glass where you can view the entire customer life cycle. So I can log in and in one single view, I can see again, Steve's entire history, his last 7 vehicle purchases, his last 72 service visits. I can see all of the communications that he opened, engaged with, at what time. I can see household data, credit information, all within that one singular pane of glass. That's, I think, what's really getting customers excited. I mean, we're seeing, large dealer groups, OEMs, when we explain this and we share some of our vision slides, like just smiling, nodding, finishing our sentences. So yeah, I would say reaction has been, even stronger than expected.
Well, I hope my local BMW dealer here in Atlanta, where I service my car, starts to use you guys because I won't name any names, but they could use the help. How about OEMs? So, as you guys integrate the two companies here, Impel integrates Outsell, do you see applicability for automotive manufacturers, and what's that value prop?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. So I think we've generally heard, from a lot of OEMs, they've invested massively in customer data platforms. They've integrated a bunch of different data sources. They spent a lot of money. And I think what they've realized in many cases is that is a great data warehouse repository silo, but they're really struggling to activate it, and especially to activate it and deliver tier 3 value. And that's exactly what the combination of Outsell and Impel offers is activation of proprietary first-party CDP data via AI-based marketing automation, as well as one-to-one conversational AI. And that's what I think OEMs are really excited about is they've spent a lot on these CDPs, failed to deliver value. Combination of Outsell plus Impel is that, sort of critical missing piece to driving value from your CDP. The other really interesting thing that I think OEMs have been excited about, again, given their investment into CDPs, is this concept of zero-party data, which is obviously, right, CDPs have a lot of data about intent signals and, current vehicle owned and that sort of thing. But in other ways, they're making assumptions about what's important to Steve based on what vehicles he's purchased in the past. Zero-party data is this concept of Steve replies to the AI either via chat or SMS or email and says, I just had my third child, for example. Can I fit a third car seat in the second row of this vehicle? That's that really explicit zero-party data that can be pumped back into a manufacturer's CDP to hone and sharpen those consumer data profiles.
Very cool. Very cool. So, one of the nuances in the industry that a lot of our audience may or may not be aware of is this weird dysfunctional, sometimes different tiers of advertising, right? You've got the automakers, you've got these regional tier 2 entities, and then you've got tier 3, which is really the dealers. I mean, you guys have done a lot in the past trying to harmonize and synchronize these things, but, how is this acquisition uniquely going to help kind of work through all the complexity at the 3 different tiers of advertisers?
Yeah, great question, Steve. I think that's another thing that really excited us about this acquisition is to your point, we cut our teeth on tier three direct to dealer. That's still the majority of our business. And, we've also started to do a lot of tier one business. What we never really did was understand or work with or partner with tier two. And Outsell brings that to us. They've got 15-year relationships with really large tier two customers. I think generally that helps sort of unify tier one to tier three. The other element, right, that I think is resonating with folks is manufacturers know that a lot of tier three communications are brand non-compliant. A lot of times what, BDC rep sends out is not following mystery shop guidelines. Maybe they're, misspelling, a certain OEM feature, manufacturer feature, or, not using the customer's name. What we've started to see is OEMs wanting to work with Impel, and now with the combination of Impel and Outsell, to establish brand compliant protocols at the tier one level and cascade those down to be used at basically tier three dealerships. So establish how the AI is going to respond and interact at the OEM level, push that down for dealer communications. And that really helps, I think, what an OEM's goal has always been, which is having one consistent voice across all three of the tiers.
Very cool. So, there's been a lot of buzz about AI. AI is definitely buzzworthy within the industry. And I think, frankly, a lot of dealers have become numb to the sales pitches. Let's take a step back and just foundationally, for the dealers that have tuning in today, how should they be thinking about what they should need from an AI sales and marketing platform to be successful?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a few things there, right? I think, generally having auto integrations is critical, right? We've heard obviously that dealers do not want another dashboard, another login. So having a system that integrates, or an AI product that integrates into your existing CRM, into your existing DMS, into your website, so you're not, again, creating a separate login or a separate experience, obviously is critical. Secondly, is really having the ability to do that one-to-one personalization. So even if you're using high quality AI, if it's totally generic and unpersonalized, it's not going to be nearly as performant as me reaching out to Steve, knowing that he's a performance buyer when he submits a lead, on the 5 Series, for example. My AI would respond and basically say, thanks for submitting your information, Steve. Did you know the one that you submitted on is an M package putting out, 555 horsepower? That level of personalization is really critical. Third thing I would say, and I think it goes without saying, is having an auto-specific AI is critical. Dealers, I think when GPT first came out, would ask us, can I just plug in ChatGPT into my website? Right. Our answer is vehemently no. It will lie about your business and have catastrophic consequences. And last thing is obviously, the CDK cyber attack and the CrowdStrike outage. I would say definitely for enterprise dealers out there, you really need, a vendor that's got strong protocols, a focus on InfoSec, SOC 2 certification, and a really focus on stability and scalability.
Dude, you have this pitch refined, but all really resonate with dealers, I'm sure, right now. So it's great to see you guys, 10, 12 years into your journey here, making these strategic acquisitions, fitting in puzzle pieces that really make sense to energize growth for the company. What's next? As you look forward, are there other future acquisitions on the horizon? Anything you can share about what puzzle piece is next for you guys?
Yeah, sure thing, Steve. So again, the vision is one AI brain managing the entire life cycle, covering all touch points and really all channels of communication. And so we will definitely look at, M&A that gets us closer to that, kind of unified lifecycle management vision. I would say, probably for the next 6 months, we're in kind of digestion integration mode. Certainly, our goal here is to not let the products sit side by side like we've seen other, automotive vendors do, but really to aggressively bring these products together towards that single pane of glass vision. So we'll be focused there for probably the next 6 months, but absolutely M&A will continue to be a part of our growth playbook. It's worked really, really well for us. All of the founders, of the companies that we've acquired have stuck around with Impel. We've been really successful at bringing those products to market and driving distribution within our customer base. All of that said, we certainly have a really high bar in terms of, number one, product quality, but number two, we're never going to buy a business for financial engineering purposes or things like that. It's really got to get us closer to that strategic product North Star.
Very cool. Very cool. So we're only 6 months away from NADA, believe it or not, at the end of January in New Orleans this next year. So as we look 6 months forward, I'm sure you guys have started your planning towards building ahead of steam towards NADA. What can we see out of you in the next 6 months, and or sort of what do you think the messaging is going to be for Impel at NADA in January?
Yeah. So I think that's definitely the debut of the combined Impel plus Outsell fully integrated platform with that single pane of glass where you can see the entire customer lifecycle. So we're excited about that. We're also excited about bringing the ability to use AI to sell add-on products like F&I and accessories post-purchase to market. And yeah, we've got some more exciting products we're working on. Not quite ready to share, or not sure if they're going to be ready for NADA yet, but a lot of exciting features and products in the roadmap.
Very cool. Well, can't wait. Well, Devin, thanks for making time for us today. You're obviously a busy guy. Congratulations to you and both the Impel and Outsell teams. Both great teams, and really looking forward on how you guys come together here over the next 6 months or so. I look forward to checking back in a few months, if not sooner, at NADA. And thanks again for making time for us.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. Always a pleasure.
All right, Devin, have a great day. So with that, let's transition to our companies to watch. Every week, we highlight interesting companies in the automotive technology space to keep an eye on. If you read my weekly Intel report, we showcase a company to watch and take the opportunity here on this segment each week to share that company with you. Today, our new company to watch is called FlowFox. FlowFox is an import automation platform. The company offers a global end-to-end container import automation and standardization for ocean carriers and their customers. FlowFox sells its product to shipping lines with the intent to help them automate coordination of container releases to their import customers and drop-offs of empty containers, as well as amendments to empty pickup information and reuse of import containers for export loads. The company addresses a number of challenges in the current system, including the avoidance of manual import processes, missing data, a lack of security, and claims and disputes, all of which help ocean carriers and shippers reduce both delays and costs. If you'd like to learn more about FlowFox, you can check them out at www.flowfox.com. So that's it for this week's Future of Automotive segment. If you're an auto tech entrepreneur working on a solution that helps car dealerships, we want to hear from you. We are actively investing out of our dealer fund. If you're interested in joining our investment club to make direct investments into auto tech and mobility startups, please join. There's no obligation to start seeing our deal flow, and we continue to have attractive investment deals available to our members. Don't forget to check out my book, The Future of Automotive Retail, which is available on Amazon.com, and keep an eye out for my new book, which is going to the publisher this week, The Future of Mobility. It's almost done and will be out soon. Thanks as always for your ongoing support and for tuning into CBT News for this week's Future of Automotive segment, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks for watching The Future of Automotive with Steve Greenfield.